Hello, my name is Mooney. I decided to record this because of what's happening. I currently live in Minnesota. I think the reason why I decided to do it is because I was really sick and tired of what media shows on TV, how they tell us that they make us all protesters look bad, and that's not true. And I also wanted to see different people's opinion about what's happening right now. I really don't know how this is gonna play out. I'm a little nervous, to be honest, but we'll see. I invited my friend Ayong and a couple of my other Asian friends to donate, and we're gonna go around and clean and protest a lot for justice for George Floyd. So keep in tune. May 25th, 2020, George Floyd, an African-American man, died a neighborhood south of downtown in Minneapolis. He got handcuffed and lying the face down, and the white police officer, Derek Chauvin, he kept his knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Which led him to die eventually. What happened was George handed fake $20 at a deli, and deli decided to call police, and the police officer decided to arrest him, but he decided to use his power to just being ridiculous and unfair to George Floyd. What made a lot of people mad was not because he died, well, because he died too, but as also those guys did not get charged until yesterday, actually. Yesterday was May 31st, so they didn't get charged right away. They just got fired, and all the 4 other officers who watched him dying didn't do anything either. So I think that's why I'm probably gonna talk about my video why people are getting mad and why people are so upset about this incident. But yes, I just want to just talk about brief who's George Floyd and what really happened to him, because there's a lot of you guys that who doesn't know what happened to him. Trying to help out, giving out donations.
I don't have like a kid.
이렇게 보시면 여기서 grocery store가 많이 불이 타버려서 이렇게 커뮤니티에서 이렇게 음식들이나 아니면 약들 그리고 뭐 필요한 것들을 도네이션을 해서 도네이션을 받아서 이렇게 나눠주는 걸 하고 있어요. 정말 라인이 엄청 길었고요. 지금은 조금 많이 없어진 상태입니다. 사람한테 물어봐야 되는데 인터뷰를 물어보고 이런 거에 대해서 물어보면 쫄아서 지금 못 물어보고 있어요. 약간 사람들이 너무 열심히 일하니까 이렇게 못 물어보고 있어서 나중에 프로테스트 갈 때 한번 물어보려고요. 근데 TV에서 나온 거가 나 틀리게 이렇게 좋은 일도 많이 한다는 걸 보여드리고 싶었어요. 미네소타에서. 그래서 정말 백인부터 흑인까지 아시안까지 많은 사람들이 와서 서로를 도와주려고 하고 노력하려고 하고 하는 것이 되게 보기 좋았어요. 지금 헬리콥터 지나가요. 소리 들리시나요? 그래서 우리는 이제 이거 끝나고 이제 시위하러 아마 갈 것 같아요. 그래서 a lot of car donate. We got back just in time. So we were donating this earlier, helping out donation. They said that they'll do it tomorrow too, so I might come out tomorrow as well with friends. And it's amazing that what they're doing.
That's what I'm saying.
Father is safe because everybody's wearing masks.
and gloves, at least to whoever giving out, and they're not allowed to touch anything. We have to give it out to them. So I think it's a lot safe that way. It is amazing of what they're doing for community. See, everyone is quiet. Not everyone is like, it's nothing like you see in the media. 이렇게 보시면 there's so many people out there. So I'm here at the place where George Floyd died, and there's so many people out there here for it. And there's a protester right there. Unlike what media says, you know, there's no looting, there's no people. There are actually a lot of giving out free food, free waters. Say hi. Okay, you want to folks keep walking that way? 모노 어디 있어? 모노야. 여기에서 일어났던. 기도하시면서 우시는 분들 계시고. I want to show people how peaceful we are for protesting. People says it's dangerous out here. No, they're not. They give out free food. Excuse me. They give out free foods, and all they care about is being nice to each other.
So we will hold the mayor, we will hold the governor, we will hold the police chief, we will hold anybody else that deserves to be held accountable for murder. We demand all four be locked up and put away. All four! All four! All four! All four! All four! All four! We don't hold them accountable, y'all. Can't stop! Can't stop! Can't stop! Can't stop! Can't stop! Can't stop! Say his name! Say his name! Say his name! George Floyd. George Floyd. From my hometown of Houston, Texas. Died in your home. Murdered in your home. Security in your home.
You make sure
He was just a pacifier.
Heavy.
His home is in Houston. But you guys have came out and you have stood since day one.
Now! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! Justice! Now!
이쪽으로. 어디가? 나 지금 인터뷰 한번 해보고 싶어. I want to interview people.
You cannot let the other three go. All four. All four. All four. Remember this. When they do get those other three, you have to question the legislative process. You have to question those who will enforce the process. We can pass all the laws we want.
제가 아까 어떤 흑인 분들을 만나서 물어봤어요. 이게 왜 이렇게 중요하냐? 왜 이렇게 사람들은 많이 화가 나 있냐? 그랬더니 이제 많은 사람들이 정말 경찰들이 이렇게 하고 나서 바로 잘리기만 했지 감옥을 가거나 그러지 않았잖아요. 시간이 걸려서 감옥을 가게 되었잖아요. 근데 이게 흑인분들한테는 이게 처음 한두 번이 아니었던 거죠. 근데 이게 이제 정말 실제로 필름을 봐서 이렇게 나타나다 보니까 사람들은 화가 난 거고 이렇게 된 거라고 하더라고요. 그래서 되게 말하는 거 되게 좋았어요. 아, 이거 다 필름으로 했었으면 참 좋았을 텐데. 이렇게 기도하는 사람들도 있답니다. 기도하는 사람도 있어요.
So continue when all the flowers are gone, when the cameras are gone, when Big Texas is gone, when I'm gone, when this sign gone. You gotta keep the work going.
So what brings you out here today?
I'm out today to show my support. What happened to George was not only criminal and inhumane, but we cannot allow our judicial system to think that we will tolerate that. Human beings are tired. I think that we as human beings, generation over generation, understand that to put so much importance on the color of someone's skin that we'll go so far as to oppress them and then kill them, it's no longer acceptable. I think we're living in a time when we all recognize that we are one race, the human race, and that the color of our skin should not separate us.
Okay. And I hope you don't take this off. I'm just having this is a honest discussion. So this is not the first time the police officer killed a black person. But why this time is so different, and why this time are people so angry?
So I think that the reason that people are so angry and this is so different is because we have historically there's always been something or foul play where some type of guidelines within the judicial system wasn't followed, or the person that we all morally feel as the victim is somehow allowed to be criminalized per the way the American judicial system is structured. What we have here differently this time is, one, we have more exposure, which was never something that we had a lot of in the past.
Okay.
Secondly, we also have a clear act of a law-abiding citizen that did actually do everything and followed and obeyed the laws of the land. And at this point, when you go down the logical checklist of adherence, how can we as Americans stand by and watch our fellow American get caught down while actually obeying the law?
Okay. Oh wow, that's really deep. So what do you think about what's happening with the riot and looting? What do you feel about that?
Well, with the rioting and looting, like I myself have said, being that I actually live in St. Paul near a neighborhood where these things were happening, I received multiple reports not only from my neighbors, but others in my neighborhood and surrounding areas reporting that there was a presence of a lot of unidentified, unknown people and people that were not previously seen in these areas. And so I think that it's important that we remember that these situations and scenarios can always get misinterpreted, but they are opportunities for those who have ulterior motives to show their heads and to also bring negative light to the cause. So I want us to be mindful of that, as we're looking at the footage and we're looking at, what's going on. The ask is that we get granular and really find out who are these looters, what do they look like, how do they identify? Are they identifying as being with the movement? Is the movement taking responsibility for them? Or are they saying the same thing, is that we have some among us who are not friends? Please be aware.
Well, thank you so much. It's really deep. See, I lived here for about 5 So thank you so much, by the way. Thank you so much for interviewing.
Yeah.
So what brings you out here today?
So why I am out here today is to pretty much give support to George Floyd. A couple days back, he was apprehended by police and he was basically forced on the ground. Police officer had his knee right into his neck, and he was begging that he couldn't breathe and that he needed to breathe. And the officer didn't listen. There was another officer standing by, ignoring what was happening exactly right behind him. And that's where it ended up with him dying.
Okay.
And a certain situation like this happens a lot more than you would think. This happens so often, especially with black people. This has been such a thing that has been happening for a long time. Honestly, I could say decades, I could say hundreds of years that these kind of things happen. It's just so now that it's really spreading throughout social media and that people are starting to understand that police brutality is a thing. And these police, they're killing us out here. They really are. And the thing is that we've seen this time and time again, and every time it happens, nothing really progresses. Like, sure, the police officer maybe lose their job or they're on leave or maybe they actually get a court case. But at the end of the day, they're able to walk free. There are so many people that killed black people who have called, either assisted in it by calling the police in the first place, or the police officer who ends up killing them, that are walking free. And nothing's happening to them. And that's why we're so tired of it.
Okay.
You know, imagine you keep on seeing this every day. Imagine you wake up one day and you see a video of an innocent black person just begging for their life.
Okay.
And it's like when you keep on seeing that day to day, it just builds up over time. It builds and builds and builds and builds until you finally explode. And this is what we're seeing right now. I never would have thought it would be Minneapolis of all places. I've been in Minnesota my whole life. And so just seeing this whole thing happen, we all are feeling some type of way. We all are feeling horrible. We all are feeling the pain right now. And I think that's why we all coming together. It's a crazy thing that's happening. And at the same time, we have so much going on between the protests, the riots, etc., etc. All we want right now is for these police officers who did this thing to actually be held accountable for their actions. Not just the person who murdered him. I know that there's a lot of people who oppose the rioting. I know there's a lot of people who say that because of riots it discredits what's going on out here. But you don't exactly know who's really starting the riots because there's been so much talk about people coming in from different states and they're tearing up the place. And yeah, I can believe that too, but I also know that there are probably also people that are from Minnesota who are doing this. You know, we as individuals, we're all complex. We have our own motives while we out here today. But it's like, you can't necessarily discredit a whole movement just because there's some people that are coming in just wanting for the fun of it, just to mess up things. And I believe that the protesters here, they know what they're going after. And that they're not going to sit down and destroy small businesses. Knowing that, you know, people have actively been trying to say, yo, don't burn this. Target, it can go. Target will be fine. McDonald's, it can go. It'll be fine. I'm telling you, the McDonald's that burned down over here, there's another McDonald's in town. You know, McDonald's ain't done.
But small businesses
are when it starts becoming a little bit questionable of like, who's really out here doing this? There's already been talk that the riots were starting to brew up because somebody was an undercover police officer who was kind of starting this thing.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. So, what are your thoughts on the people who are rioting and looting out there?
So for me, it's like, it's a very gray area. I think for me, it's like, I'm cool with rioting. Sometimes it actually needs to happen because I know that a lot of people say that peaceful protest is the way to go. But I also believe that, you know, for me, looking through social media, there's been so many people who have been quiet during that time of peaceful protest. But then the moment where things starting to ramp up and people are actually destroying stuff, that's when everybody feels the need to speak on something. And I just feel like that just, I don't know why they think that all of a sudden they want us to talk about it now, but they want to condemn the protesters for doing that. But when you think about it, that's the reason why they're doing it, so that you can finally say something. Because we feel like we're not being heard enough, and that people are kind of just sitting down, not really paying mind to it. And it's kind of like at that point, well, what else can we do? What else can we do to really communicate something so people can understand what's going on? It's just not right.
Wow. Well, I think it's still. Well, thank you so much for answering my interview. I'm just gonna turn. I'm gonna send it. 비디오를 찍고 있어요.
Say his name. George Floyd. Say his name. George Floyd. Say his name.
George Floyd.
Say his name. George Floyd. Say his name. George Floyd. Say his name. George Floyd. 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 What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. All four. 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 If we don't get it, 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 all four, all four, all four, we will not settle. We will not settle for a third-degree murder charge in this damn state. We need capital murder, and if this state don't have a hate crime,
잠깐 가볼래?
we need a hate crime law passed. Because this was a hate crime. How can you look at a brother and smirk while he's dying? All four. 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 What do we want?
Justice.
What do we want?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
Say his name. Say his name. George Floyd. Don't settle for one. Don't settle for one. It was four. Don't settle.
안녕하세요. 오늘 진짜 이제 집에 갑니다. 끝나고 6시 되기 전에 집에 가서 좀 쉬려고. I actually was really surprised with protesting. I actually, to be honest, was a little nervous that people were not gonna like at me asking them question. But then everyone was really welcome and everybody was actually cheering me of my bravery because I wanted to find out why people were so mad. And to be honest, before I came to this protest, I didn't get why people were so angry about it. I was just more angry for why people are rioting, but it's more deeper than that. That's what I realized today. A lot of people are saying a lot of similar things. I'm not black, so I don't know what they're going through. I don't know what they've been through. But at least through this protest and being there, I learned a lot. Do you guys want to say anything?
No, I think you summed it up pretty much, but it was really nice going there to see a different view than the media.
Exactly. It was a lot different view than media, and also my heart was really heavy, right? Like my heart was really heavy.
Like with every event, like 9/11, all these other events that goes on, it happens, people forget about it. I just really hope this event lasts for a long time.
Yeah, I hope so. I think
I'm editing this because overnight a lot of things happen. The reason why I made this video is that I just want to show there's a really peaceful protesters out there and just wanted justice. There are some people, it is not safe out there, guys. Obviously, especially at night, there's a lot of looters who burn things, and I personally don't agree with what they do because it makes peaceful protester and what they're asking for is making people more anger and see it in a negative way. As you see, the reason why I didn't put any of that, because you could easily see how people burning things and stealing things in media, but it's really hard to see how some people are really peaceful and nice, and that's why I wanted to make this video and show it. protesters out there. So not everyone is like looting, but there are people out there. I'm not saying, oh, they're not no one, it's just media. Yes, there are people out there who steal things, who break things, who burn innocent people's properties, which is sick and stupid. Don't even make me go there. But you don't really get to see like how some protests are really peaceful and they just want justice. I always say to people, there's a lot of bad Koreans out there, and there's a lot of good Koreans out there. There's bad police officers out there. There are a lot of good police officers out there. There's probably bad black people out there, and there's good black people out there. So we can't just justify, I don't know, we can't just point fingers and, hey, all black people are bad because that's happening. We can't say that. We can't just say, oh, all white people are bad because that guy did something to that black guy. So I hope you guys, I just want people to see both sides and just see one side, because media focuses on one side. So I hope if you like this video, please like, subscribe. If you guys have an actually honest question about what's happening, I could go there. I could ask my friends about it too. So please let me know. Thank you. And thank you for my friend who was out there for me, who was with me.